You have meditated for years. You practiced mindfulness. You chanted mantras. You read every book about enlightenment. And sometimes it worked. For a moment, there was peace. A moment of clarity. A moment where everything felt quiet. But then it returned, the background noise of anxiety. The subtle feeling that something in your life is still wrong. The feeling that you are a person with problems. So the search continues. More techniques, more books, more effort. And slowly, the spiritual search itself becomes another prison. A constant effort to become better. But the great sage Ramana Maharshi pointed to something shocking. What if the seeker itself is the problem? Not the world, not your thoughts, not your circumstances, but the one who is trying to fix everything. Today we explore the one practice Ramana Maharshi gave to the world. A practice so direct, it doesn't improve the ego, it dissolves it. This is not another technique to collect. This is the practice that ends all practices. The power of one question, who am I? To understand this practice, we must first see why most spiritual effort fails. When you sit to meditate, who is meditating? It is I. When you try to be peaceful, who is trying? Again, I. And most spiritual practices unknowingly strengthen it. They give the ego a new identity. Now it becomes a spiritual ego, proud of progress, frustrated by failure, but still the ego. Ramana Maharshi saw this clearly. His path is not about adding something. It is about removing what is false, not becoming something new, but realizing what you already are, right now, beneath the illusion of the person. And to discover this, he gave a very precise tool, not a hammer, a scalpel, self-inquiry. Ramana called it Atma Vichara. Self-inquiry begins with something simple, the first thought, the I thought. Notice something carefully. Every thought in your mind begins with I am happy, I am angry, I am worried, I need money, I need success. Before any of these thoughts can exist, the thought I must appear first. So Ramana's method is simple. Trace that I thought back to its source. Here is how the practice works. Step 1. You are sitting quietly, and a thought appears. I'm worried about tomorrow. Instead of following that story, you ask, to whom did this thought appear? The answer is obvious, to me. Now comes the turning point. You ask the deeper question, who am I? But here is where most people misunderstand the practice. Your mind will immediately try to answer. I am consciousness. I am a soul. I am a good person. I am this body. But Ramana said all these answers are still thoughts, and every thought is still part of the mind. The question, who am I, is not meant to produce an answer. It is meant to turn your attention inward. Instead of thinking, you simply feel the raw sense of I exist, before labels, before identity. Just the pure feeling of being. Imagine the I thought as a thread. Your task is to gently follow that thread inward, back to the place it comes from, like diving beneath the surface of the ocean, deeper and deeper, until you reach complete stillness. Ramana called this the spiritual heart, not the physical heart, but the center of awareness itself. And something strange happens when you do this. The ego begins to disappear, because the ego is like a shadow. It only exists when you don't look at it directly. The moment you investigate it, it starts dissolving. Of course, the mind will wander. you will ask, who am I? And 2 seconds later, you're thinking about dinner. That's normal. Ramana said this is not failure. It is actually part of the practice, because every distraction gives you a new opportunity. You simply ask again, to whom did this thought arise? To me. Then ask again, who am I? And dive back inward. Every thought becomes a doorway. Every emotion becomes a reminder. Every distraction becomes another chance to return. Gradually, the mind becomes quieter, not because you forced it, but because you stopped feeding its root. If this insight resonates with you, take a moment to support the channel. When you like this video and subscribe, it helps these timeless teachings reach people who are still searching. And this channel, Stories of Wisdom, exists to bring these powerful insights to life. Your support keeps the wisdom flowing. Now the final question. What happens when the I thought disappears, when it is traced back to its source? You don't find an answer, you find an absence. The absence of the seeker. The absence of the problem maker. The absence of the false self. And in that silent space, what remains? Peace, stillness, a deep sense of being that was never disturbed. You do not discover the self, you realize you have always been it. The ego was only a misunderstanding, a shadow, a mistaken identity. As Ramana Maharshi once said, liberation is nothing but knowing your own true self. The practice is simply the tool, the scalpel that removes the illusion. Am I?